Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
From Wells, swinging a high fly ball left field. This is deep. Back it goes. Yes, sir. It's out of here. Home run.
Thanks, Griffin. Appreciate that. Really enjoy you making me relive that, asshole. Thank you.
This is what we want to do, though. You want to be a show.
I almost said, "Fa!" I almost did the thing that my kids like to do. Almost did that. Hi, good morning. It's Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. We have one of PressBox's summer interns is here with us. We'll introduce you to Zoe in a bit. That's courtesy of Nesson, I believe, from last night. Caleb Durbin hitting the game-winning home run in the 8th inning. The Orioles fought back, took the lead 2 different times, but had this funny thing that they wanted to do. Wild bit, right? Like, I don't know, where they just threw the ball all over the place. Where they just said, let's see, let's do a wacky and see if we can't commit 4, and let's be honest, 5 errors during the course of a game and win anyway. And you won't believe it, but they weren't able to commit 4 should-be 5 errors during the course of a game and beat a team that had won 13 consecutive games. I'm as surprised as you are.
They almost
I thought it was a sound
did.
strategy, but yet they came up a little bit short in their quest of doing exactly that thing. Real quick from last night, Christian Encarnacion Strand, who I was really getting excited about joining the I was like, wow, we're going to have a new name on the list. Like, that'll be fun.
you have to find another picture of a guy that probably doesn't exist.
Yeah, you don't have an Orioles logo for it? Or you had to do that for Cam Sanders?
Yeah.
I was really excited about that. Lots of questions about whether or not they should have pinch hit for him. It's the easiest thing in the world to do when you have the result, right? Like, after you have the result, it's obvious to say, well, didn't that bite you in the ass? I also think circumstances matter, and playing the percentages is more logical if, say, you're leading off an inning and you have a chance to get a rally going. If there's a runner on second and 2 outs and you need a base hit, I think playing the percentages is much more logical. Playing the percentages when there's 2 outs and nobody on, that's the only part of it. Like, this is what the Orioles are going to do. And I tried explaining this, when people would lose their mind about Brandon Hyde, and I'd be like, dude, you guys can scream about Brandon Hyde all you want. This is an Orioles thing. They're going to do this. They don't care what batter has had 2 hits already in a game. They are going to play the percentages based on what the Pythagorean tells them is the more likely outcome in that situation. That's what they're going to do. And so I can't say that I'm shocked that they turned to Jackson Holliday there, but I do believe it's relevant, the circumstance, and if I have any pushback, that's more understandable to me if there's a runner in scoring position and you have a chance to get him home. In the position that they're in, what is the likelihood that Jackson Holliday's either A, hitting a home run, or B, starting a 2-out rally? And I just find either to be minimal And so that's part of the reason why I'm less on board with that decision in that spot. But I don't think it's as criminal as some people think it is. That's more the way that we react when something just doesn't work. When it doesn't work, we say, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Well, you're mad about the result, not the process.
Garrett Whitlock's having like an unbelievable season as well out of the like, this is what he
I
does.
don't think Christian Encarnacion Strand was doing anything different in that spot for the record. I just think we're mad about the result. The defense was abominable. It was abominable. It was just awful. And it bit him in the ass every time because that's, by the way, that's a sign of the Red Sox actually being a good team, not just a team that's playing good baseball right now. A sign of a good team is when teams screw up and give you extra opportunities, you take advantage of them. And it's something that, like, even when the Orioles have played good baseball this year, they haven't really done well. Like, they've been gifted extra outs, and they've just kind of been extra outs. That's all they've been. The defense has been this poor all season. I mean, maybe not 4 errors, 4.5, whatever you want to call it, per game, but the defense has been dreadful all year long. So it's not like you can be shocked. And again, it's part of the reason why even as the Orioles have won 7 straight, it's hard to like fully get on board because the only thing that you could really write home about was the quality of the starting pitching. It's not like, now last night they scored runs, right? Like that was pleasant. It was nice to see the offense come to life. And you hope there's some carryover to that, obviously. You certainly hope there's some carryover with Gunnar Henderson. You pray that there is some carryover with Gunnar Henderson offensively. Throwing the ball or attempting to throw the ball into the 15th row behind home plate when you really didn't have a prayer of getting an out to begin with. I hope there's no carryover from that. But offensively, you hope there's some carryover for Gunnar Henderson. You hope that the bats are prepared to maybe come to life a little bit, particularly considering, like, look at the bottom of that lineup last night. Like, look at everything below. I mean, hell, look at most of the lineup. There was Pete Alonso, and who else was in the lineup last night that you had any, like, significant faith in going into the evening? Arguably Tyler O'Neill.
Hottest hitter in the lineup.
I mean, it was just a kind of a dog-ass lineup that they had to put out there for all sorts of reasons, and yet they produced 5 runs. And if they were capable of playing, even like college-level defense, they might have had a chance of winning that game. It's difficult because you don't want to overreact to any one game. But as we said yesterday, winning 7 straight was fun and was neat, but it only got them to a place where they had a chance to get over the hump. It didn't get them over the hump. Like, winning 7 straight only helped partially make up for how wretched it had been. They don't have room to give it back, particularly with August 3rd being the real deadline by which you have to start making decisions. They can't allow a loss last night to turn into losing 3 out of the next 5 games. They don't have any margin for error in trying to look the part of a contender going into August 3rd in order to justify the types of decisions that would need to be made in order to bolster this team to have an actual chance. As we discussed, they have an awful lot of needs. And they're playing with basically, 2 hands tied behind their back right now, given all of the injuries. But other than that, it was just a fun, competitive night of baseball. Great atmosphere. Hooray. Let's talk more about it. Normally, the Orioles are playing poorly when we bring him in, so it was kind of nice, the thought of bringing him in when the Orioles had been playing fairly well. And then they threw the ball all over the field last night, but we'll deal with that. He, of course, covers the Orioles for the Baltimore Banner. He is our friend Jon Meoli, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. John, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing well. Relative to our typical circumstances, this is like,
it's a miracle.
This is pretty high flying.
Right. Like, this is as good as it's ever going to get. John, I was trying to have the conversation like an adult yesterday where, it is objectively a good thing that the Orioles won 7 games in a row, but they did it without the offense really producing a whole heck of a lot. It's not like the defense had suddenly turned the corner, and obviously we saw it come unraveled last night. They really did it almost entirely on, hey, the starting pitching has been stabilized. And that's a good thing, obviously. It's a very good thing, but I still have some trepidation about that because you have innings problems for, I think, most of those guys. Obviously, the 3 most important ones you have serious innings problems with. So it's weird. Like, I don't want to call it smoke and mirrors because it's not. Like, the starting pitching is good and it's real, but I never felt like this was a sign that the Orioles had completely turned the corner just because they had won 7 consecutive games.
Yeah, and that's a fair criticism. We talked about it yesterday on the Banner Baseball Show with my guy Paul Moncano, and he was basically saying like he was never going to be able to look past how they played and the reasons they lost games early, and that's completely fair. That's completely valid. I mean, I don't know if I was early or late on this, but when they got swept in New York, I was just like, okay, you are never going to be perceived as anything other than the team that got swept in New York, and that is not, the team that is not good. I don't know if that's fair, unfair, but it's the reality. And I think when you put yourself in the position the Orioles did, you're not going to have anything other than, a lot of caveats and a lot of yeah buts. And I think even as this rotation has been for 2 months among the best in baseball, it's going to be yeah buts. There were games before the All-Star break on the front side of this winning streak where they hit 1 million home runs, and there were games in Houston where they did not, and it was kind of grinding it out. I think they can do both, but what happened last night is always going to be in this team's bag. It's always going to be in their locker, and they almost won anyways. That's the crazy part. And how long are they going? I mean, I guess they can't get away with it. They lost and their winning streak is over, and there's another game between them and the last wild card spot, but it's not something that's going to go away. It's just something that they're going to have to win in spite of. And I think they did that for as long as they could, and then, they went into the science experiment mode. It's like, what if we made 4 errors and still tried to win? And the answer was obviously that they could not.
And really 4.5, because I think everyone knows Gunnar should have caught that ball. John, I'm trying to figure out where exactly they need to be to make certain decisions. And it's a complicated conversation because, like, I think some things, I think it's possible they could both try to acquire pieces at the deadline and trade away Taylor Ward, for example. I think they could do that. But, like, there's the second part, which is, hey, they haven't signed Trevor Rogers, and he's been pitching really well of late and could potentially fetch them a good, like, I don't want to oversell it, but, a quality lefty at the deadline, even for a rental, could get you something. Where would they need to be in order to justify trading away Trevor Rogers? Where would they need to be to justify aggressively pursuing the many things? I mean, we're talking about multiple bullpen pieces they probably need another starter, and at least one more bat. Where would they need to be in order to justify being that aggressive to get the things that would help make them a viable contender? Like, where would they need to be to go one way or the other here?
All right, so let's start with the downside. I think we're talking about like single-digit playoff odds, and I know those are the only things that we can go off of. They have their own models and they have their own, forecasts and projections and stuff. Taylor Ward, on the one hand, is a right-handed hitting outfielder, and those literally don't exist. You can get value for him, but you also can have teams that are looking at it, be like, well, we're getting this guy for 2 months. It's been pretty empty production for most of the season. He's not hitting for a lot of power. What do we want to give up? The Trevor Rogers part, all those things you say are true, and I don't know. I think the Orioles basically would have to be far enough out to have it not matter that there would be 9 Trevor Rogers starts, basically 8, 9, 10 Trevor Rogers starts down the stretch. And if the outcomes of those 8, 9, 10 games matter, if we're really talking about balancing on such a fine margin, those starts will be better than whoever was going to be making those starts otherwise. So I think they would have to be pretty convicted in knowing that that's not going to make a difference. Um, and I think they would have to be pretty well out of the playoff race. We can't do anything about the records of all these teams, including theirs at this point, but they'd have to be well and truly out of it. To go for it, I think the bar is probably lower than we think. I think if the deadline was yesterday rather than 2 Mondays from now, they probably would have been kind of aggressive, because they are in the mix.
And you've
And
referenced before, obviously, the options they have that would need to be on the 40-man next year that there's just not room for, and so they have maybe some ammunition to try to do that.
they do they have a lot of pieces they need to add to the roster this coming off season, provided the Rule 5 draft happens. That would be a fortuitous development if
Boy,
it didn't.
I hadn't even
But
thought
but I
about
think
that. I hadn't even
yeah
thought about it.
yeah I just think that you know for everything that has happened in years past that has been frustrating at this time of year, and for all the reasons that we all know that was the case, I don't know that those are these circumstances now. They are leaning into doing risky things. Their cost benefit analysis on a lot of things has changed over the last year, and I think that's because there was pretty clear evidence it wasn't working the way they were doing it. So I think they might have a little more stomach for being like, if this doesn't work out, we will be out 4 or 5 prospects that could maybe help us down the line, but we will be able to go to sleep at night, understanding that we didn't give up and um, we didn't, we did everything that we could. And I think that's all like touchy-feely stuff. That's not exactly how they run things, but it's also not completely unjustified because we have seen this team go on a nice little run here. We've seen other teams go on runs. It's possible. It helps when you catch the ball and throw it to the right base and those types of things. But it also, um, I don't think it's out of the question for them to be a little more aggressive than a team with their record would ever be in any circumstance.
Jon Meoli is with us here on GCR. John, I feel like there's 2 follow-ups that I have with that. The one would be, because this is the question that I get whenever I go on, another show in some other city or something like that. They say, well, is this influenced by whether or not Mike Elias is on the hot seat? And my answer is always, I have no earthly idea if Mike Elias is on a hot seat. He was given a promotion. I presume that comes along with a contract extension. And so I don't know if that's something that they're thinking about. And we hear so infrequently from ownership. I can't even answer that question, right? So this part of it is very difficult for me. Like, would Mike Elias feel more inclined to be aggressive because he fears that falling short of the playoffs again could be reflective poorly upon him? I don't know. I have no earthly idea.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think everyone's kind of on the same level with that. I have been frequent to point out when I've had these conversations that while there was no forecast, I mean, people can say that they knew the Orioles were going to be terrible last year, and when those words come out of someone else's mouth and you're having a conversation with them, your best bet is to just nod at them and move on. But like the Orioles promoted him last year and in before last season happened, before that disaster happened. So all the things that everyone is mad about in retrospect, the offseason leading into 2025, the deadlines where not enough happened to support a team even winning a playoff game, let alone winning a playoff series. All those things were part of the calculus when he got promoted. So it would feel weird if they turned around and were like, actually, all those things that led us to this position are the things you are going to be dismissed for now. And the flip side of that is that I think there were some real hard conversations that happened last year, probably unpleasant ones, probably, you know, internally within the Orioles front office, with ownership, with other stakeholders, and the outcome has been a team that operates in a material different way. And the question is not whether Mike Elias is punished for the Orioles not making the playoffs maybe 2 years in a row or not winning a playoffs game when they were in there, but like, is there conviction in what is going to happen going forward if they keep operating the way they have been over the last year? And that is something that influences my decision to say, well, I think they would go for it because that's what they're doing, period. Because it doesn't really matter how good I'm just going to throw out a name, and it's not because I actually don't care. It's just like it doesn't matter how good Aaron Estrada might be for the Baltimore Orioles over the next 7 years because they might be able to get somebody who's better for them right now. And I think they might be just thinking differently about those types of things, and that more so than like fear for his job would in my mind influence what happens in the next couple weeks more so than I hope I don't get fired. So I'm going to just pretend we're good.
All right. The last thought that I have on this topic, and it's one of the most you've known me for a long time. I've said a lot of embarrassing things in my career, but this word might be the single most embarrassing word I've ever said. And I brought it up in a conversation I was having with our friend Jacob Calvin Meyer from The Sun. I said, I think that at this point there needs to be a little bit of roster maxing going on. And I say that to say I don't think that this team can compete for something of significance. I think that, like, when I discuss Trevor Rogers, it's more a conversation of, could you trade Trevor Rogers, get some pieces, but also look to acquire? We talked about this with Adley Rutschman at one point. I don't think they're trading Adley Rutschman, but could you do that if you're not signing him, get some pieces, but also try to be in the sweepstakes for pitching with control, right? Like, for trying to max your roster moving forward and not sell out for the moment, which doesn't appear to be seems to me to be fraught with peril. Like, going in for right now just doesn't make sense to me. And that's like, I hate having this. You're right about Trevor Rogers. You got 9 starts. He's been great. But if he's not going to be on your team next year, you're not winning the World Series with him. I don't believe that. So, like, is there a point at which you need to be coming and going? You need to be considering a little bit of all of the above in order to roster max.
Yes, I think there is a point, and I think the challenge with that is that those are two different. I'm bad at mixed analogies, and it's like those are two different worlds you're living in. There are only a handful of teams that would be trading a Trevor Rogers, so you are much happier if you're a baseball front office being like, maybe all these teams set their sights on Skubal, and maybe they have like something in mind that they would trade for Skubal, and maybe we can get 80% of that. I don't know. Pick a percentage. Right. That is an easier world to live in than being one of, all these teams are operating off the same models and thought processes and kind of goals. If there is a starting pitcher who is, basically like Trevor Rogers was a couple years ago, except good, where there's a couple years of control left and you can have him for 2.5 years, every team is going to want him. You are going to be basically on both sides you're basically in the middle of like a weird Venn diagram. It's like, give us your best offer for Trevor Rogers, and also we are going to beat 5-6 other teams that want a controllable starter who's going to be able
Detmers, for example.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more, and like maybe they don't care about that. Maybe they just want the player, and they'll do what it takes to get it. I think we've seen plenty of instances over the last year where they'll do that. I think that all is completely valid. I think it's a needle that everyone would love to thread across baseball, probably, and I think it would happen a lot more if that.
And for some reason, only the Rays have ever been good at it.
Only the Rays have ever been good at it,
yes.
But that's because that's what they do. That's all they care about is like, we're going to do this and we're going to, there's no, I mean, they do push sometimes, but that's just how they live. That's just like the neighborhood they live in, and they don't have to look across the street and be like, well, they're doing that, so we got to do this. It's like they are comfortable in what they do. And I think there's a world where the Orioles were trying to get to that point, and I think I'm glad that they never got to that, because, that would be a less fun existence, although it seems like they win games more often than the Baltimore Orioles do.
They do.
But I think it's just really hard to do that. I understand
the
value
I
in doing
agree
that.
with you. I don't want it to be constant. I don't want it to always be like, I still think there should be some soul and some heart to this, right? Like, you have a player, you want them to be around, you want to sign them, the whole thing. And look, I think it's been good. The Orioles now have been able to, give extensions to multiple pieces. Like, there's literally no downside to what they did with Kyle Bradish. Even if ultimately it doesn't work, no baseball fan should ever be like, let's say in 3 years Kyle Bradish isn't that guy. Every baseball fan should be thrilled that a team is willing to do that. Should always be thrilled by something along those lines. I don't want them to be completely heartless the way the Rays have been. I don't think that's good baseball. But somewhere in between, I do think makes some sense. John, the third base thing, like, can they get by with trying this with Kobe Mayo more frequently and Christian Encarnacion Strand? Like, is it maybe the moment where they have to get a definitive answer about Kobe Mayo playing every day or semi-close to every day, or do we already have that answer and we know it's not an option?
I think a lot of that depends on how long Blaze Alexander is out. Honestly, like I don't really know the extent of his fracture, how long it's going to be. I think there's been a difference. Basically, it's not to say that Kobe Mayo is Jordan Westbrook over there, but I think since that Miami game and the changes to how he's throwing, he's been relatively better. And also he hasn't played as much there. So I don't think you're ever going to get like an everyday third baseman profile just because he struggles to hit righties and they're who pitches most days. But again, he's like Kobe Mayo playing third for a month is probably okay if everything else on the team and on the infield is optimal, and I don't think that's what you can say about this team. But
no,
again,
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can say that about the Baltimore Orioles infield at this point. So do you go get something? Is that they already use resources to get their third base cover, and it was Blaze Alexander, and it went fantastically, and you still have, Jordan Westbrook theoretically a part of this team going forward. I don't know what that solution is. And you're talking about, probably if you're talking about a temporary solution, some offensive drawbacks. And then at what point do you just want to have like somebody who can hit in there versus somebody who is going to make every play? I think that's a conversation they probably need to have, but I don't know what resources go to that at this point.
Yeah, I get it, and I'm probably like there's always the eternal argument of yes, Kobe Mayo can't hit righties, but like, can you ever get the answer as to whether he can or not if you don't give him more prolonged opportunities to adjust to it? And that's an easy thing to say at the beginning of a season when losses are extremely detrimental at this point. I think it's just far more difficult to be experimenting with that in the moment.
Yeah, and I think he got a decent run against righties early on, and him not playing as much against righties coincided with Blaze Alexander becoming one of the best hitters in baseball, and Jackson Holliday coming back. Like those opportunities just eroded for him. The difference is that you didn't have him destroying lefties then, and I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he spoke a little bit about when he wasn't hitting lefties, everything was hard. Then he started at least doing what he's supposed to do in hitting lefties, and then you feel a little better against righties. You feel a little bit better at third. I think the argument for giving another shot would be now that he's tending his own garden, as they say, like and doing the things against lefties you're supposed to do. Let's see what kind of knock-on effect that has for the rest of his game.
Jon Meoli, you mentioned the podcast. Do you want to get a plug in?
Yeah, the Banner Baseball Show. Paul Mancano and I do it once a week. It's a fun Orioles conversation, I think. It's a lot more fun when there's not these existential crises going on, but usually there's not. And otherwise, writing at the Banner.
At Jon Meoli, of course, is how you follow him. Always appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hopping on this morning.
All right, talk to you guys soon. Thanks.
Jon Meoli from the Banner with us here on GCR. It's funny because I actually was trying to give Jacob Kalbenmeyer and I were having a long conversation about this a few weeks back before I left for Africa, and he suggested he might steal that roster maxing thing and write a column about it, and I was trying to leave him room for it, so I didn't bring it up. And I'm also embarrassed by it, right? Like I am. I'm very much embarrassed, as I should.
It could be a big thing. I don't know.
Yeah, right. We want to stick with that one. That's where I'm at the moment. When someone asks me my opinion about the Orioles and the deadline, my opinion is I think they need to do both. I think they need to go both ways. A lot like I didn't. Wait, what? I think they need to go both ways.
Having a serious conversation.
I think they need to go both ways. I think they need to be looking to roster max. And people get very dramatic when I talk. There's this weird like subset of people that are personally angry at me for how much we've discussed the possibility of trading Adley Rutschman.
Well, they're right. Yeah.
I mean, they're Glenn's gonna be so mad when the Orioles sign him to an extension. No, I'm going to be jubilant when the Orioles sign Adley Rutschman to an extension. The conversation is relevant because they haven't. Which is, of course, I don't know if you read. If you're familiar with Jeff Passan with his work.
What's he do?
Well, he covers. I think he's still at ESPN.
I know. I was about to say.
I think he's still there.
Well,
I know a lot of them aren't, but I'm pretty sure he's still there. Jeff Passan today at ESPN.com gives a 30% chance of Adley Rutschman being traded. The Orioles aren't exactly looking to trade Rutschman, but they are certainly listening on the former number 1 pick. Rutschman's renaissance this season has come at a great time for Baltimore. He's a free agent after next season. Baltimore has Samuel Basallo locked up long-term, and there's almost no chance of the sides coming together on a long-term deal. This wouldn't necessarily be a deal for prospects. Baltimore could find some under-control arms and flip from a position of depth to get there. While it makes plenty of sense, one potential impediment is that the teams most in need of catching are in Baltimore's division. Even so, Rutschman is good enough and the catching position important enough that if the Orioles become motivated to move him, they'll do very, very well. This is what I'm talking about. It's why whenever Jacob and I have had the conversation, and he's brought up the idea of, like, you don't want to signal a new, you don't want to be signal that you're tanking or that you're going through some sort of new rebuild. My point has been that's not what I would be looking to do. I would be looking to maximize my assets. And if Adley Rutschman, who has just said, we're not signing, love you, and if you want to outbid everyone for me next offseason, you may do that. I'd be happy to stay in Baltimore, but that's what it's going to cost. And you can figure out a way to thread the needle to trade Adley Rutschman either for the pieces that are going to help you in going after, say, a Joe Ryan, or for major league ready pitching. That conversation has to be had. And I'm having the same thing. People get very uptight when I bring up the Trevor Rogers. You don't need to trade Trevor Rogers. You need to sign him. I'd love to sign Trevor Rogers. I'd love to. It's odd that Kyle Bradish, who was, 2 years away from being a free agent, he got signed this weekend. Trevor Rogers is 3 months away from being a free agent and hasn't been signed. Now, does that mean it's impossible? I can't say that. But you would think that they would have been prioritizing that, right? And if it hasn't happened, is that because it's not going to happen? And if it's not going to happen, you can hold Trevor Rogers and pray that you get in, or you could see if it can't help position you to have a better chance at winning a World Series in 2027. And these are painful conversations, and I, of course, would rather today the Orioles announce an extension for Trevor Rogers, which would presumably help you in 2027. But if that's not in the cards, then we got to talk about it. And that's the reality. It ain't, this is what Glenn Clark wants. It's, we have to be adults about this. And that roster maxing concept is very real to me. It's something I'm deeply considering. Wait, who's this guy? Who's this guy that's very worked up today? I don't even know who this is.
Is he happy or
He's very mad about the
unhappy?
model. He's very mad about.
Oh, so he's an anti-Elias.
I'm assuming that's what he is. But it's
Six
all
errors.
the place.
He calls it 6 errors
Yeah,
last
right.
night.
What was the sixth? What am I forgetting about?
I don't know. I thought it was definitively 4.
Well, it's definitively 4, but the Gunner one is the one. The one
where he hits his. I mean, it's hit 100 miles an hour.
I understand why it's not an error. I know why it's not an error, but it's a play that he should make. We're not talking about a high. We're talking about Gunnar Henderson. He's supposed to be a high-level Major League Baseball player. It's a play he should make. I'm just blanking on which one would be the 6th one. I'm sure.
I'm blanking too.
If you reminded me, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? That could have been a 6th error as well. It's gross. It was just gross. Still to come today, we're going to talk some Ravens. Marc Ross, former Giants executive, Super Bowl champion, is going to join us now with NFL Network. How does that work, too, with NFL Network? How's that? Because they're like ESPN now.
They're still NFL Network, but Disney owns them.
Maybe we're not gonna get too deep in that. Maybe we're just gonna talk football with
one
them.
of the NFL Network
Maybe
guys
that's what we're gonna do.
Got the axe, so
I understand. Let's avoid that part of the conversation. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Maybe
I thought you were trying to.
I understand you and I tried. if you haven't read, look, I know Pelissero, and I like Pelissero fine. He's done a good job, and Stefania Bell, who obviously had a very significant niche. Apparently, there's going to be a deep round of ESPN layoffs this week, and Carl Ravitch is part of it. All the heat yesterday was about Ryan Clark because apparently they fired him in the middle of a show, which is about as low rent as it gets. Like if you know this is the thing.
Yeah, well, you finished your show, right?
I go back. No. I go back to what I said about John Harbaugh. If I'm Ryan Clark and you made me come to work so you can fire me, I reserve the right to Morgan Wallen on something in your office. I reserve the right to piss on anything I want in your office. If you made me come to work.
So he should have made a bigger scene.
But was he actually was he in studio or was he on? Because I don't know anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
If they made him go to the office to fire him, he should be allowed to urinate on whatever he wants in the office. That should be an acceptable. We as a society should be able to agree to that. You want to fire me? You don't make me drive in. You just say, "Hey, it's over. Enjoy your day. Go get a beverage. It's the summer. Go have like a nice pina colada somewhere." You want me to come into work so you can fire me? I get to choose whatever it is. You have a nice rug in your office, like in The Big Lebowski. I get to urinate on that rug. You got I get to choose what it is that I'd like to urinate on if you make me go into the office to get fired. Period. That's the way I feel about it. Carl Ravitch, who's unbelievably good at what he does and quite popular. I'm sure you're a better company without Carl Ravitch. I'm sure. Look, I'm not going to lie. You're never going to watch ESPN again? No, I'm going to watch ESPN like I watch it now. I will watch the sporting events that they air on ESPN.
And, well, I mean, you always get up here and you put Get Up on. That's the
right,
first
you know
thing.
me. I'm a big Get Up guy. Always got to. Let's talk about what happened on the McAfee program today. I will watch the sports because that's what I watch on ESPN and nothing else. But Carl Ravitch is good when he does the sports. When he's doing baseball, when he's doing college basketball, when he's doing
the home run derby.
Was he doing the? He was doing the home run derby. I'm not a big home run derby, but the college baseball when he does like the College World Series, outstanding because Carl Ravitch is good at what he does. It's a hell of a thing when you have talent. The talent is good, and you should want to have that. Not a sermon, just a thought.
So you excited for McAfee doing the home run derby next year?
We'll come back in. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Aloha, O's fans. Summer is in full swing, and so is Hawaiian Shirt Weekend at the Yard. Catch the O's take on the Atlanta Braves Friday, July 24th and Saturday, July 25th at 7:05 p.m. Be one of 20,000 fans to score a Birdland Hawaiian shirt presented by Old Bay. Don't miss out on one of Birdland's favorite giveaways, perfect for repping the O's at the Yard, at the beach, and everywhere in between. Get your tickets at Orioles.com/tickets.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnkin. If you've been injured in a car or truck crash, you probably know this is stressful. Medical bills, the insurance company giving you the runaround, you got to get your car fixed. You don't just need a lawyer, you need results. At Warnkin LLC, we represent the injured across Maryland. Whether it's a car or truck crash case, medical malpractice, or any other serious personal injury, we fight for maximum compensation for you and maximum ease for you. You don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Warnkin LLC has been voted best personal injury law firm in Maryland for a reason. For us, 443 Results isn't just a phone number, it's our mission. Get the advocate that you need. Call us today, 443 Results, or visit us online, warnkinlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, and you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR's Continue Along on a Tuesday edition of the program. I want to meet and introduce you to one of PressBox's summer interns. She is the pride of Glen Burnie. She is a student at the University of Maryland, Zoe Hammond. Zoe, if you can slide right up to that microphone for me. Thank you for coming in here. Thank you for all your hard work.
Of course.
We think we like Zoe, or we thought we liked Zoe, until we met her before the show today. Like, when it was at a distance and she was just, like, writing up interviews, and I got, like, an email from her. I was like, oh, yeah, I like Zoe. She's working hard. Then we met her, and we've got lots of problems. Zoe, you're lifelong Glen Burnie? Like lifelong?
Lifelong.
Anne Arundel County.
Anne Arundel County.
Went to Old Mill?
Old Mill.
So naturally, your favorite baseball team is?
The Yankees.
Ah.
I know.
All right. Well, naturally, your favorite football team is?
The Steelers.
Hey, Zoe, it's been great. We wish you nothing but luck in your future.
I know.
We hope that you have a very long and successful career in this business. Get out!
Blame my family. I was born and raised that way.
Oh, God. Zoe, hang tight. We're going to talk to you more for the end of the show today. Appreciate you being here and all your hard work. All right, let's talk some Ravens right now, and something that we've been discussing for the last couple of months. The Ravens do address maybe the biggest need on their roster by bringing in Ethan Posick last week to be their center, but I keep looking at this group of veteran receivers, and I keep looking at a Ravens team that has a known in Zay Flowers, we think still a known in Mark Andrews, although obviously coming off a really down year, and like a half a known in Rashad Bateman, and that's it as far as knowns in the pass-catching department. And I just keep wondering if they might need to maybe add one more known into the conversation. Joining us now, this man, part of the Giants front office, built Super Bowl champions. Now you know him from NFL Network. It's a pleasure to welcome back Marc Ross, who is with us once again here on GCR. Mark, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to see you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Of course. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Mark, you heard the setup. It's both sides to me are relevant in this conversation. And based on what I heard you say, I think it's both sides are relevant to you. I think it's the side where the Ravens, you look at their roster, obviously we got to figure out what Jesse Minter's all about. We got to figure out what Declan Doyle's all about. But roster-wise, there's a lot to like. And then I just look at this pass-catching department and say, is that the group of pass catchers that you want to send out there with a first-year play caller and feel confident in your ability to win a Super Bowl, which is the reason why you fired your last head coach? And then I combine that with, the quality of the pass catchers that are still sitting there looking for work. And I think to myself, it feels like this should be a match to me before the season begins.
Yeah, for sure. Last week I was on there talking about it with Stefon Diggs, of course, coming back home, coming back to the area where it just made too much sense. And, as you mentioned, as I talked about on my segments, it was just a lot of what ifs. What if Rashad Bateman has a breakout year in year 5 or 6? That doesn't happen.
Or like one of these rookies breaks through. And like it could. I'm not saying it can't. It's just a lot to ask.
But you need the foundation there while all these other things can develop. I mean, if you look at the roster, you look at the receiver group, if you put Stefon Diggs on the roster, who are you really sacrificing there? Nobody. You still can have a good group where it doesn't hinder Elijah Surratt or Jacoby Lane if they become what you want them to be. But if you want to be good, stick with the current group. If you want to have someone in there that you're saying on 3rd and 5, we need to make a play, and who are you going to go to? And if you bring Stefon Diggs in here, he showed last year that he can still be that guy, because there were certain games there for Drake May and the Patriots where he just absolutely made the plays whenever they need him to make the plays.
Mark, is it just Diggs? Like, I'm not opposed to Diggs. Obviously, there's still some things that he's dealing with legally, but look, I mean, the Ravens drafted Mike Green last year. They've definitely moved on from the zero tolerance policy. Is it just Diggs, or where are you with, like, I can't lie, Mark, I am so enamored with Keenan Allen. I am convinced he's going to be 55 years old, and he's still going to be a productive, and like he and Mike Evans, I just feel like are always going to be productive. And a lot of people still bring up Deebo Samuel's name to me. Like, that. Why isn't that in the conversation? Is it just Diggs, or would you be interested in the others at all?
Yeah, I think because of Deebo and what he plays and how he plays and how Zay plays, that it's not really a good match of now new offensive coordinator. Maybe he's got these grand ideas, but Deebo is he's not a receiver. He's a football player out there at receiver, moving them around, doing different things. That's when he's at his best. Zay's at his best to me when he's in the slot. So kind of jammed up in there. As you mentioned with Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen can keep playing like that because of the way he's always played. It wasn't about his speed and all those sort of things. It was about his uncanny ability to uncover and get open and outstanding hands. So he also might be a good option. But just, the Diggs things, all the off the field stuff, as you mentioned, if that's okay, to me, he's still the one.
From a football standpoint, the other part of the conversation with Diggs is his personality with a first-year head coach and a first-time play caller. With that, obviously someone who has wanted the ball so much in his life that, like, he wanted out of a place where he was wildly productive in Minnesota just because he had to share catches and reps with Adam Thielen at that point. Like, would that be at all of concern to you, that personality combination of he with a first-time head coach and first-year play caller?
1,000%. And this has been him since college, if people don't remember. So this is not he gets the NFL, he gets some money, he changes. I mean, this was part of the issues with him at Maryland when you had to dig in about his personality and some of the things that he did. And he's only proved that in the league. There's a reason why he's been on 4 teams, going on 4 teams now in 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. There's a reason for that. If you have someone there that, can give you the production and is a stand-up character guy, you're going to keep him around as long as possible. So, yeah, the shelf life on Stefon is like, get a good year out of him, and then it's time to move on. So for the Ravens, from where they are, hey, will he come there for a year and be on his best behavior and do the right things, say the right things? Maybe, maybe not, but is it worth the risk? Possibly.
Marc Ross is with us here on GCR, NFL Network, former Giants executive. Mark, the other thought that I have about this that's pressing to me is I think it's easy to say, like, well, maybe you wait and see if somebody gets hurt and then you want to make a move for a receiver. I think it's so imperative you do it now because there are going to be injuries and other teams are going to deal with injuries, and they might scoop up these top options that we're talking about that are on the market, and then you're left with the sort of, afterthoughts that are still sitting there if you get to September and you're looking for a receiver. Like, I don't think the answer can be you wait, you look at it, you see how these guys go, because I just think the options are too good for you to risk losing them in that time frame.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you go to the store, you're trying to buy the best cut of filet that you want there. You want to get there early and get that butcher's cut right from the start, not wait to the end of the night where the things have been picked over. And for getting him in on the field, new offensive coordinator, new system, Lamar, the whole deal, get him acclimated and comfortable as much as possible. And then also, as we talked about, the off the field stuff, you get him in early. It's like, okay, how is he going to respond? How is he going to act around? So both on the on and the off field, you can start judging Stefon Diggs and how he'll be with Lamar and then with the whole franchise in the locker room.
Mark, depending on let's presume they don't. Let's presume this is the roster, right? Like this is the team. Depending on where you look, the Ravens are either the favorites or slightly behind the Bills in terms of being favorites in the AFC from a betting standpoint. Do they deserve to be viewed like that, or do we still need to see like what this looks like again with a first-year head coach, with a first-time play caller, and given how disappointing last year was for this core, do we still need to see that before we can accept that the Ravens really should be considered like AFC favorites?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is the season of hope. I always talk about that when training camp hits, mini camps. Everything's this is why we're going to win the Super Bowl, and all the teams are talking about that for the most part. But as talented as the Ravens seem to be, last year had them winning the Super Bowl, and of course that all fell apart. But as talented as they seem to be in a lot of positions, top MVP candidate once again in Lamar, and you still have to go out there and show that these pieces, these question marks can get it done. And as much talent as it is, there's still a lot of question marks. Talk about the receiver group. Trey Hendrickson. Okay, everybody's going to assume he's going to do what he did before. Well, guys get old and they hit the wall and they're not as productive before. So, will he provide what he once was? Calais Campbell. I mean, can he keep playing?
He's
I mean,
40
guy's
years old. He's
40.
40. It's insane.
Yeah. Can he keep doing it? You mentioned Mike Green. Will he be what everyone thought he possibly could be? Will he step up? The secondary, does Marlon Humphrey has anything left in the tank? After, to me, a lot of poor showings last season, and Awuzie, can he really be a legitimate starter? So still a lot of question marks. Matabike coming back. Is he healthy? Is the neck there? So you go up and down. It's like, okay, a lot of hope, but then there's a lot of question marks as well that have to be proven once that first week starts.
This one's going to be out there because you just brought him up, right? Like, Mark, we've been trying to figure out why so cryptic all of the conversations about Nnamdi Madubuike, right? Like, why can't you just say, yeah, he's ready to go? Yeah, like, why can't it be that cut and dry? Why would a front office, Eric DeCosta, when he speaks publicly, Nnamdi held a football camp this weekend and wasn't made available to speak to the media at that camp. Like, what should we read into that? Because, like, again, all of what we've heard has been he's working his way back, he's in the mix, but the fact that no one is willing to say, yeah, we feel good about Nnamdi, like, leaves me saying, okay, but does that mean I don't know how to read into this situation.
Yeah, it's I always joke, like, when a player has let's say ACL surgery, and it's always he had a successful surgery.
Right.
Like that's one of the greatest streaks in sports where you've had successful surgery.
Has anyone ever had an unsuccessful surgery?
Like, no, that doctor went in there and they messed that ACL up. So it's always successful. So when you're not really openly talking about how healthy a player is, that's a little bit scary. And for the nature of his injury, an ankle, a knee, a shoulder, okay, here's what it looks like. But that neck back that I've always, we used to talk about. I mean, that's so tricky even for your specialists to go. We drafted a guy, running back out of Virginia Tech. I don't know if you remember David Wilson, and in the first round, dynamite rookie season, he had a neck situation. We got him all ready the whole off season. Get him in the first mini camp. He runs into the back of somebody, and he's done. But all off season it was David's going to be fine. David's going to be fine. As soon as he hit somebody, his career was over. So, hopefully that's not the case with Madubuike, but, those necks and backs are super tricky.
You bring up the defense. Are we too reticent to assume that, like, Jesse Minter can just wave a wand? Like, he's just like a magician, that he can just wave a wand over it and it fixes everything?
Yeah, you're counting a lot in that, right? Because of what he did the last few years and saying a lot of the same question marks we had last year are still here. But this guy's going to be a far superior coordinator than what Zach Orr was. I mean, that's really that we hired him as our head coach for a reason because yes, he is going to make us significantly better. But once again, as we started out, as you mentioned, just another question mark that has to be proven once they start playing the games.
I like to think that it's just as simple as that. I like to think he just shows up with some
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he's got the Mike McDonald pixie dust somewhere, and he can just
Yeah.
sort of wave it over everything, and everything is fixed. Obviously, one of the biggest storylines in the NFL, Mark, is the Los Angeles Rams, and are they just the super team that is going to run through everyone? And I did, as I was watching the segment last week, happen to see that you are incredibly bullish about one particular thing related to the Los Angeles Rams. You really believe that Myles Garrett can be the MVP of the NFL this year?
Yeah, I mean that was our hot take segment. So, but I always do my hot takes with based in some sort of reality. And for him, I just talked about how destructive he's been playing by himself.
Yes, with the
in
Browns, right?
Cleveland
Yeah,
and losing all the time. Like, okay, how are you racking up all these sacks when you're losing all these games? And it's okay. Now you're going to get in a situation with a team that will have the lead in most fourth quarters. You're assuming from what they've done the last X amount of years. And now he can just go hunt and go say, all right, they're throwing the ball. We're not down running it and got 2 or 3 guys because the Rams also have some other guys up front that have to be accounted for, unlike, years past with the Browns. So, I mean, he has a chance to really just take his game to another level, just being in a far, far, far superior situation everywhere.
I recognize this is football, and so lots of things can happen. But in the context of hey, we know injuries are real. Are we right to assume that the Rams are maybe a notch above everyone else based on what their roster looks like?
Yeah, and this is if Matthew Stafford can do it again. I mean, this time last year, I didn't think the guy was going to play. We're talking about backs. Remember
Right.
he had the back deal. He wasn't even participating in anything until the last week of camp. And I'm like, okay, well, there's no way a 39-year-old guy with a back problem is going to make it through the season. And he did, and he played better than I've ever seen him play. The MVP, and I was like, no, he deserved that. He played better than I've seen him play. So now we're assuming again that he can replicate what he did last season. If he can do that or even be close to that level, that they're definitely the favorites in my eyes. But if he's not, their backup plan really isn't all that inspiring.
Obviously,
despite taking Ty Simpson in the
right.
first round,
Correct.
It's not all that inspiring.
And then I'll wrap with this, Mark. The AFC North, right? Like if Lamar again, and I recognize what a qualifier this is, but if Lamar Jackson is healthy for the majority of the 2026 season, who is actually a threat to the Ravens in the AFC
It's
North?
Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh is not. They're going to have a part of that segment. I said they'll have a losing record. I still believe that when you look at their schedule, and I have no belief, Aaron Rodgers can do it. Cleveland's Cleveland, so it's between the Ravens and Cincinnati, and if Burrow's healthy,
right?
They made significant changes on the defensive side of the ball. Dexter Lawrence and the crew, Boye Mafe coming in there that. They've been atrocious on defense. Like that's their standard. Don't be atrocious, and you can win another
so I'll still
5
ask,
games.
is their offensive line good enough to expect? Like for example, I'll give Joe. They announced yesterday that the home game against the Ravens on New Year's Eve, they're going to wear their white uniforms. Is their offensive line good enough that we can expect Joe Burrow has a chance to play in that game?
You say if he doesn't make it there. But see, this is the thing with their offense is that they're used to playing with a bad offensive line.
That is true.
So Joe Burrow's used to that. So that's nothing new for them. That's just unfortunately. But so they can go out there and score 30 even with a bad offensive line, and they've shown that it's okay. We've given up 31 and 32 and 33. Right. That's really been their major problem of their defense has just been awful instead of just average. So get to below average, you could win a few more games. You get to average, and when you look at their additions, they should be significantly better on defense.
Mark, I know it's at, of course, Marc Ross on Twitter, Mark with the C. Is there anything else that we can be plugging for you, man?
What we got going? Just the insiders going on right now. Our training camp coverage, back together weekend starts next week, the first. I got Bengals. I got Bengals and
There you
Browns. They didn't
go.
give me Ravens this year. They usually give me the Ravens, but I got Bengals Browns. So got some conference rivals there and a few others as well.
Marc Ross, always appreciate taking the time for us, man. Thanks so much for doing it. Let's talk again real soon, all right?
Anytime. My pleasure.
It's Marc Ross, Super Bowl champion as part of the front office with the Giants. And, of course, now you see him on NFL Network. And, yeah, I mean, you know how I feel about it. Like, my opinion is that the Ravens should do this. And it's not because I don't believe in the younger guys. It's because I want to stack the deck. And if, it doesn't work out with a veteran receiver, the younger guys are still there. And the argument about, like, hey, do you have roster spots for all these guys? It's a fair question, but it also exists in a world where no one gets hurt during the course of training camp or the preseason. And what is the likelihood of that? That would be called like the greatest problem to ever have in the history of ever. Imagine you add in a Stefon Diggs or a Keenan Allen, and everyone somehow stays healthy. Imagine. It's the greatest problem in the history of football. Imagine trying to solve that before it exists. Stop. You could lose 3 of them before the season begins. That's how football works. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about putting the best possible roster together and stacking your deck. And I am acknowledging that maybe of these 4 pass catchers that you have drafted, and I'll even throw Tez into this conversation just because he hasn't really proven himself fully yet. So let's say, and if you want to throw LeJontay Wester in there, fine. I just still struggle to see him as a receiver as much as a returner. But of those 6 guys, right, that are in the conversation between tight end and wide receiver, beyond the knowns, the 3 knowns, then there's, I guess we have to throw in, what's his face? What's the other tight end that they brought in? Smith. I guess you have to consider him a known, but I don't know. Do you have to guarantee Durham Smith a roster spot? Like if these 2 young,
I guess not. What did they give him like $1 million?
If these 2 young tight ends both look like rock stars, I can live with the idea of having to part ways with
$3 million.
But what is that really? Like what is that?
$3 million, right?
$3 million total?
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't that you're fine. That's
$3 million cap hit. Come on.
Certainly can't. Certainly couldn't risk that. So I'll say 3.5 knowns if you want to throw Smith into that conversation. I can do the math. I can tell you don't have if I add in Stefon Diggs hypothetically to that conversation, and now we're talking about 7 wide receivers and 4 tight ends. No, you don't have 11 roster spots for them. But definitively, how many of them are going to be healthy? I don't know. I have no clue. And that's why that doesn't scare me away.
But the Ravens have the best medical team.
That's right. Definitively.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Almost never have anyone hurt. So that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick by it. The Ravens have not appeared to be, in a rush to do something like that. They got clearance on Ethan Posick, and they were like, now, you are a Raven. They have not felt that way about it. It's not like Stefon Diggs' case got cleared, and they were like, get in here.
It is weird how there's been no buzz around Debo, Keenan, Diggs, any.
And again, I think the circumstances can be different for everybody. It might very well be that part of that is they're waiting to find out who gets hurt. They're waiting to find out where the most opportunity is going to be.
Okay.
And that Stefon Diggs in particular says, if my options are maybe being the 3rd guy in Baltimore, let me see if somebody else, let's find out if, Amon-Ra St. Brown gets hurt, and I'm not wishing that upon him. He seems like a solid fella, right? Like, let's see if he gets hurt, and then maybe Detroit suddenly, where Dan Campbell's got to start feeling like he's a little bit on the hot seat. Maybe they're a bit more interested than they were today. And it means I don't have to be there for the start of training camp either. Oh, no. That would be terrible. You mean to tell me I wouldn't be able to run around in the 105-degree heat? Oh, God.
It'd probably only be like
That would just be awful.
95.
Thank you. It's a great point. It's unlikely. If it was 105, they'd probably move the time of the practice. Great point. 95 is pleasant.
They're not villains.
Let me bring
And they're practicing in the morning now, too. So
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
they'll feel like it's a brisk fall day.
Stop it. Zoe, come back in here for a second. We introduce you to Zoe Hammond, our summer intern here at PressBox. You do have to be right on top of the microphone here. That is the awkward part. You have to be literally right on top.
Right
of
on
it.
top.
You're a writer. You're not. This isn't the. You don't. This part on camera. Does
Yeah.
That,
I don't do
no,
that. No,
you're not interested in that at all.
not really.
How did you know that writing was what you wanted to do?
Writing essays in school is like really easy. So
Bragger.
I mean,
A little bit of a.
it was easy. So I was like, let me just make a career.
Oh,
out
you
of
guys
that.
are struggling with dissecting frogs. I could dissect 4 at a time. The hell, man. No, that's cool. That's cool. You always enjoyed it?
Yeah.
And the sports side of it, what made you want to do sports?
I just grew up watching sports, playing sports.
You were a softball player.
Yes.
You said you weren't a pitcher. You were a
Like first base, outfield,
okay,
left field.
When you see like the scenes now, and it's probably been the last 5 years that like the Women's College World Series has blown up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the vibe, the energy in Oklahoma City is wild, and it makes you say, like, I want to go experience that.
Yeah.
How crazy is that to you? Like, how much that sport has so steadily grown in recent years?
It honestly, like, gave me so much hope as a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, if younger me could see, like, where it was today, like, when I was a kid, this is so stupid, but, like, well, my favorite movie was A League of Their Own.
I mean, hang on a second.
Obviously.
It's a great motion picture.
But I still question to this day that why is there no, like, professional women's softball or anything?
And I know, like, Jeff Arnold's calling games now. What's the softball league that's on ESPN? Oh, my God.
It's not Athletes Unlimited.
I think it is. I think
Is
it's
it?
AU.
Okay.
I think it's AU, yeah. And so I know that's what he's been doing, and it's like it just keeps growing.
Yeah, and just with how college softball has been, it's just getting bigger and
Yeah.
bigger. And then you have women getting into the MLB through coaching and referees or umpires. Wrong one. But
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, there was a female GM as well, obviously, in
Yeah.
Kim Ng. Has anyone in the history of humanity ever been worse at their job than the mail carrier in A League of Their Own? That guy. Oh, gee, gosh, golly, somebody's husband died, but I just can't tell it. You're all going to have to think it might be you. I'm going to run back to the office. The single worst employee in the history
that
of
was
ever.
so bad.
That guy sucks. I had thought about that guy so many times in my life. It's a flawless film. It's brilliant, right? Like Jimmy Dugan is just a wonderful character. That might have been the guy who was pissing on everybody at the Morgan Wallen concert. It might have been Jimmy Dugan. Like everything about A League of Their Own is just spectacular. But that goddamn mail carrier,
Like ruined the movie for a solid 5
mother
minutes.
effer. He's just gonna walk in there like, man. Well, too bad. I'm out of here. Somebody's husband's dead. Deal with it. And then as it turns out, it's not even that difficult to figure out. Drunk-ass Jimmy Dugan was able to figure it out. We got to think about this, man. I got a lot of thoughts. Oh, while I'm at it, I've got a theory about The Bear. Have you've watched The Bear?
I've watched like the first couple seasons.
Okay. Have you? I don't even know where you are with The Bear.
I'm not. I've not
You
been
never
watched
got
The
in
Bear.
on The Bear.
No, I just haven't got to it yet.
What's? Yeah,
Well, at this point now, it's all over, so I guess I can.
do you like being involved in conversations with people? Do you
Yeah,
like?
I do. I don't talk to people that watch The Bear.
A lot of people watch The Bear, dog.
I know. Well,
It's
The Bear isn't a
very
conversation
popular
driver
television
either.
show.
It seems.
I feel like it is. I feel like it is a conversation driver.
Okay.
I finally figured
Go ahead,
out
prove me wrong.
the biggest problem facing The Bear. I finally figured out. Yeah, Zoe, let me make sure you are an adult. You are okay. All right, so we can have this conversation. Zoe, you're a junior or a senior at Maryland?
Senior.
Senior at Maryland. I figured out the biggest issue that faces the Bear. As I said, season 3, the biggest problem facing the Bear is nothing happened. They decided to film 2 seasons at once, and so they needed to have like 2 seasons worth of it. And they just had an entire season where nothing was happening. Nothing. It was just stagnant. Way too many flashbacks. They built it up around this premise of like one singular review is going to be the make or break, and they never got to it. It was dreadful. It was a dreadful season of the Bear. This last season of the Bear has been fine. It's all basically built around one night, right? Like, it's been fine. I would say it's been borderline good. But I feel like the Bear on the... Yeah, John, that's where I am, right? Like, it's fine. It's never lived up to... John, you watch the Bear, right? All right, come in here. Because I need your help with this, right? Because Zoe's only sort of watched the Bear. You can stay here, Zoe. We have another microphone, right? We have a fourth mic. This is Zoe, by the way. Zoe interned for Luke this summer, and we need John's mic on. I have a theory about why the Bear, to me, never lived up to the promise of the first season. Yeah, there you go. And part of it, as I've said before, I think it was better off just being a beef shack for 5 seasons. I think they should have I think the beef shack dynamic was perfect. And I think they messed it up by trying to get a little bit too artsy with the high-end Michelin star restaurant. But I have another theory that just struck me. No one ever has sex. Ever. No one ever has sex.
Yeah, didn't it happen in the first
That's
season?
it. That's it.
First season, he had it with the ex-girlfriend who he never really got back with, who he should have.
We all loved her. She was
that
wonderful.
Should have been a theme through the whole thing.
100%.
They just disappeared her.
Or it's because he and what's her face, Iota Bittery's character, whose name I'm now why is it escaping? Should have, because we all were like, okay,
that works.
Yeah, that works too.
What did you just say? Almost?
I don't know. Calm down over there. Calm down. No one. We are supposed to believe that these are all eunuchs. That all of these people who work very closely
together. Have you ever
together,
worked in a restaurant?
Yeah, they all have sex.
And drugs.
All of them.
And drugs. Sex and drugs.
Yes.
Everywhere.
And they do the drugs part, they cover, obviously, in the Bear.
Yep.
But they pretend like these people all are too riddled with anxiety to ever consider the thought of having sex.
Have you noticed that in this season, every conversation is way drawn out, and it's full of
yes, yes, that's what they want.
It's like you're
because
running
they're
a
adding,
restaurant, make a freaking decision.
Correct. But they want to add to it's anxiety porn, right? Like the Bear became what a Safdie Brothers film is.
Yeah.
It's just supposed to drive you nuts with the anxiety porn. Like you are supposed to have such anxiety watching it that's what they're portraying to you.
But I want to hit them.
Yes. They get to it. Come on, man. Get to it.
It's okay. You gave her the restaurant. Now make a decision.
Right.
Move along.
Do something.
Move along. You want to cut onions? Cut onions.
But I'm telling you, that also coincides with the sex problem. I'm telling you,
if they had a little sex,
they are trying to convince you that these people are so riddled. People that deal with anxiety have sex. Not all of them. There are some people that are so riddled with anxiety that they don't have sex. I acknowledge that, right? Like they are not capable of it.
Those people are not that riddled with anxiety.
These people, they want you to believe, are so crippled by their anxiety.
And then the uncle is driving me crazy. I can't figure out
what's
going on.
Yeah. That's been frustrating. I don't. How are you finished the season?
Yeah.
I have not finished yet, so I don't.
I'm not
okay,
going to,
all right.
yeah.
I still have a couple episodes left.
I think it got horribly slow in the middle.
Yeah.
And I thought the last few episodes were an improvement.
Picked it up.
They were nothing like the first season, but I almost just didn't even finish it. I was so frustrated because I can't think of her name, the main chef.
Yeah, the one that Iota Beery.
Yes. She can't get through a sentence. She can't get through a sentence. Just say a sentence.
Why can I not?
Say a sentence.
Why can I not think of what?
Do you
I mean,
need
like
somebody
I
to get lamb chops. Say, go get lamb chops.
Right, correct. This is you're in charge. You're in charge. Go do it. It's of course. It's Sydney. God, why was I struggling with Sydney? Holy hell. Most important character in the show.
Everybody's dad is like.
But you're getting away from my point. My point is they've made these characters you're not attached to them.
Correct.
You're not attached to them, and it's in part because they have no sex.
The only ones I'm attached to are the African guy running the beef.
Yeah, we love him. He's incredibly likable, 100%.
And I like Richie still. I can't help it.
Everybody likes Richie in that, like, you're rooting for him. Like, you're just rooting for him.
And you sort of like his transition into he's found his
right,
his niche. And
yes, he was a dumbass, and now like you like that. But again, part of what's encouraging about this season is they sort of had the dynamic with him and the new the lady that came over from the nice restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Like, give me some sort of interpersonal. This is not real life. These people are not eunuchs.
Say, but I can't now.
Oh, because of how the season ends?
Yeah.
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
I'm not finished yet, but I'm not wrong. I'm not
No,
wrong
you're
about
not.
this.
No, and you
It is a
won't-
huge
And
problem.
you will continue to be correct.
Part of where the show failed to live up to its promise was they pretended like people don't have sex. They pretended like
interesting observation.
anxiety was more important than sex. And I'm not trying to say it needed to be a show where everybody was having sex with everybody. Like, it doesn't need to be that. They don't all need to be bisexual. They don't all need to be.
They just needed some.
They needed
thing.
there to be actual human contact involved with these people so that you can kind of know them a little bit better and understand. You needed that, and instead they gave you
So what do you think?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Somebody get an apple. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're really selling me on the show.
Have you seen season 1?
No.
Look at season 1.
Season 1 is
stop after season 1.
One of the best.
Maybe.
Season 2's okay.
Yeah. Season 1 made all of us say, "Oh my God." You know what else happened? The music got worse as the show went on. The music was great. They had that Eddie Vedder cover of Sooner or Later that was phenomenal. That riff will still play in my head sometimes.
I have no problem though with the high-end part of it because he came from the best restaurant
I
in the world.
understand
It
the
makes
concept.
sense.
I just don't think the dynamic has been as interesting
Right.
as the dynamic of getting by at a ratty beef
3
shack.
years of that would be rough, man.
But I think it would create more I think you would have focused more on the interpersonal had they stayed at the beef shack, and it was more about the people and their dynamic and somebody who wants to get ahead and somebody who wants
we
to do.
all know his brother's dead.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes. I
didn't know that.
Well, you learn it in the very first episode.
That's
so I'm
John
not giving
John
anything away.
Bernthal is the brother. They did the one-off. Did you watch the one-off episode they did?
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Like, I enjoyed it. You know why? Because there was sex. Because these people weren't eunuchs. I guess they didn't actually have sex, but they,
Whatever.
Yeah, you get the point.
They were capable of it.
Correct. They were moving in that direction 100%.
You can just watch porn, You can.
I don't need that.
I'm leaving now.
Thank you,
okay?
John
Because
Colson. I
my
appreciate
son's getting
you.
married on Saturday.
Oh, congratulations! You're very excited.
Yeah,
Up in.
yeah,
You're gonna.
there's a lot to do.
I'm not even allowed in that part of the country. They don't even.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, right. John's living the high life.
Yeah, for a weekend.
Yeah, right. All right, buddy.
Bye.
Enjoy the wedding. I knew I wasn't wrong about this. I stand by it. It's one of the biggest issues that is facing this show is for whatever reason, no one has sex. And it just struck me as I was watching this season. I'm like,
Maybe
what?
you just need to watch Game of Thrones then, or
Because
something.
everybody but I don't need it to be everybody having sex. I don't need it to be that. I just need it. You can't pretend like that's not part of a life. These people are all single. They just don't want to. They're so riddled with restaurant anxiety. We can't consider touching someone else's private parts. Stop it.
They're all just really respectful, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're just so super respectful. Anyone who has sex is clearly not respectful. Clearly.
They're all waiting till marriage.
Then address that. Then say that. We hired nothing but very religious people to work here that are all, but even those people presumably would be interested in getting married. These people are there is nothing. They exist in a universe where human beings do not have any romantic whatever. It's so bizarre. I don't know how to.
I like Zoe's. Just watch Game of Thrones. Yeah.
You're presenting as if I need them all to be. I don't need. There are. It's funny you brought
You're
up A League of
begging
Their
for
Own.
sex. Yeah.
Did you watch the A League of Their Own spin-off show they did?
No.
Don't.
I heard it was awful.
Don't. It's so bad. But the bit is like it's A League of Their Own, but like they're all gay. And they're all banging each other. Like they're all like that, and it's there are promises to that. Like there are people that are involved that are very talented and they had good ideas, but I don't need that. I don't need the show to just be a sex show. That's
what you just said you need.
No, I need there to be some sex.
You are reminding me. There was a lady.
He reminds me of a lady as well. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
And she was talking about how she only wants to watch a show if she's gonna see someone die and someone naked.
I don't know that I even need them to be naked. I just need I need you to acknowledge that human beings interact that way, that they don't just exist on a plane where there's like I'm not. Oh boy, I'm gonna walk this fine line here when I have this conversation. That within, and John's right, particularly at restaurants. I don't know what it is about restaurants, the high pace, the high energy thing. Like anyone who's ever worked at a restaurant.
Everyone's high, drunk, something.
There's a lot going on there, and it tends to be elevated in restaurant scenarios, the number of people that are having sex with each other that work there. That tends to be elevated at restaurants. In a normal world, we should present office settings where, like, I'm not trying to suggest that, like, people should be, sexually assaulted. I'm not trying to suggest that it should be, that all the characters should be like, hey, the sweet thing. Like, I'm not trying to do that. But the notion that these people wouldn't be like, hey, I'm single and you're young and we're both fairly attractive and there wouldn't be anything there. Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I don't know, somehow I didn't think about it until season 5. Somehow, again, because early on in the show they did acknowledge this part of these people's lives. But then they just sort of pretended like it didn't exist for years. Years. It was just nobody's having sex ever.
You should watch Below Deck or something.
A reality show?
Yeah, you should.
Griffin, you are doing the bit where it's all or like that. You're not willing to listen to the nuance of the conversation.
You would like
having.
Below Deck though.
I
think
want.
You would.
I watched Jersey Shore when I was a young man. They were all having sex with each other.
Yeah, you probably would.
No, I don't want that. I'm in my 40s. I don't want that.
Love
I want
Island
storytelling.
has a lot of that tension that you're looking for.
No, they're just all banging each other. That's what they're doing.
They're not technically.
Wait, they don't actually have sex on Love Island?
They don't explicitly say it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're all having sex.
They'll
on Love
show-
Island.
Probably the part you would love. That is,
No,
it's not
I don't
hitting you
want
over. It's
them-
not like it's hitting you over the head.
Oh, because it's subtle.
It's just subtle,
It's
yeah.
subtle. They're all. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for storytelling, but honest storytelling about the actual way that people interact with
Trust
each
me,
other.
you could not script out these.
Love Island.
or something.
It's not possible. I don't think I'm going to start
There's a
watching.
great storyline with
I don't
it.
think I'm going to start watching Love Island anytime soon. I don't think that's going to be in the cards for me. I don't think that's the case. It's not that hard. You just have to be. They have to look like.
It's not that
people
hard. Is that what they
actually
should call the show? That's the model.
It's not bad. Not bad, Griffin. Yeah, hit the break.
Aloha, O's fans! Summer is in full swing, and so is Hawaiian Shirt Weekend at the Yard. And for the first time ever, we have one for kids, too. Watch the O's take on the Atlanta Braves on Sunday, July 26th at 1:35 p.m. 5,000 fans 12 and under will score a Kids Birdland Hawaiian shirt presented by Old Bay. Don't miss out on one of Birdland's favorite giveaways. Get your tickets today at Orioles.com/tickets.
This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number, 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of PressBox is available now. On the cover, Dave LaMonaco profiles Orioles play-by-play voice Kevin Brown, looking at his rise as an amiable mainstay and one of the top voices in all of baseball. Also inside, Antonio Barbera looks at whether the championship window is narrowing for the Ravens veteran core, and our special travel section with a look at sports tourism options throughout Maryland for you and your family to enjoy this summer. PressBox is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. Today's show has been brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. If you missed it yesterday, Stan the Fan, Ross and Luke got together, as they do every Monday, to talk baseball. You can catch it, facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Click on the videos tab. Go to youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan shows brought to you by Warnken Law and the Costas Inn with two great locations, the OG in Dundalk, the new one in Timonium. Pete, Nick, you guys know how deeply I love the Costas Inn. You know that it means to me as much as family, like, frankly, more than some family members. I'm asking for a favor.
Which ones?
We can talk about that off the air. I'm asking for a favor. I need you to start hosting trivia on Monday nights.
Oh, what happened?
We have a crisis on our hands. What happened? The place where we go for trivia did this whole remodeling. It's fine. They revamped the menu. It's fine. They took off of the menu cream of crab soup. Why do you exist as a restaurant in this area if you're not going to have cream of crab soup? I'm a simple man. I'm about to be 43 years old. There's very few things that I get to have in my life. But every Monday, I like to get together with my friends and answer questions about Estonia while consuming cream of crab soup. I don't think that my buddy and I, my old roommate and I, talk about the quality of the soup. We've recognized that's what we're going to do for the rest of our lives. For the rest of our lives, we're going to get together. We're going to be the old guys that show up somewhere and get together just to talk about the soup. That's it. Now, Costas Inn happens to have one of the greatest cream of crab soups known to man, if not singularly the best cream of crab soup there is. So it's time. Pete, Nick, Monday nights, you talk to the company, we move trivia to the Costas Inn in Timonium. And I will move in. I will actually move in. I have a standing residency at the Costas Inn the moment we do it. I need that to occur because I can't do this any longer. We are now nomads. We have no trivia home because I cannot commit to a place that can't commit to serving cream of crab soup. Not asking for too much. You know what? If we were in Kansas City, I wouldn't expect you to have cream of crab soup. We're not. We're right here in Baltimore. It's not too much to ask. It should be the bare minimum. Bare minimum of having an establishment in this area. Again, not a sermon. Just a thought.
Getting close.
Just a thought. What were we doing here? Did we have to cover?
We were shouting at Costas Inn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. But do we have anything else that happened that we needed to cover today?
I don't know. Over under 2.5 errors by the Orioles tonight.
Apparently, all of the betting people are like hammer the Orioles tonight.
I think so. That's just they can't win every game.
It feels like that, and then Bradish, right? Like it feels like a combination of
Ranger Suarez.
That's true. It feels like a combination of well-rested Bradish and the Red Sox can't keep doing this. Man, it's hard to not be impressed by them though. Like it's really. Was it Stan that had them as the AL winners?
I think coming into the season.
Yeah, and did he bet?
I did as well.
And who got out of it?
We both sat, and
you both sat.
I think I bet against you, but I let you win it.
What did I have?
You had Detroit.
Yeah, I do. I'm glad I got out of that.
And
I'm glad I got out of that. I don't know. The Red Sox look right now. I think the Red Sox look like more of a threat than anyone else.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say that.
I understand that, but it's not. It's not just the results. It's the thing that I didn't feel watching the Orioles win 7 straight. It's that they're doing it in different ways. They're winning games where they have to score lots of runs. They're winning games where they're
clutch hits.
Yeah, like they are doing
pitching.
They are showing they can do it in so many different ways, and that's what makes them scary. And that I didn't feel that way about the Orioles when they won 7 straight. It felt like if they didn't get a great pitching performance. And like it's tough to even like criticize Shane Baz last night because again, like there were so many errors that
2 were unearned and
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't think he was great, but he certainly wasn't.
He was pretty efficient, like I thought.
Yeah, I don't have any criticism of Shane Baz. That it's certainly not his fault, but I don't know that he was brilliant. And right now, it feels like you have to be brilliant as an Orioles pitcher in order for this team to win.
It does feel like you need to be brilliant to beat the Red Sox. Yeah,
definitely have to be brilliant to beat the Red Sox. No doubt about that. Before we get to tidbit, he came up 1 point short last night. 1 point short.
So that's why you're looking for a new place. It's getting too
hard.
It's getting too hard, huh?
I don't even want to be the winner at an establishment that doesn't serve cream of crab soup.
When did you find you
I actually, because we knew that they were doing the remodeling. They apparently can't. I wouldn't have been able to play because I was away, but they canceled trivia last week because they were closed, putting the finishing touches on the remodeling.
Oh, okay, gotcha. You scheduled the trip around when they were going to be renovating.
I joked yesterday morning. I said tonight could be the last night that we're there. What if they took the cream of crab soup off the menu? My buddy, 2 of us. There's like 6 of us on the team, but 2 of us are really only there for the cream of crab soup. We tried to move to another establishment at one point, and they didn't serve cream of crab soup, and so we said, nope, we're going right back. That's the way it's going to work.
How many places? You're finding every single place around here that doesn't.
Apparently, that's what they're like. They're like, to overcome it, we'll have trivia. Like, we know you don't want to be here because of the cream of crab situation, but we're going to get you anyway by hosting trivia. Sons of bitches. Don't care for it. Anyway, the moral of the story being, we came up 1 point short, but there were 3 sports questions last night.
Damn.
First,
good thing you were back.
Name the 2 African teams. And Zoe, if you want to help on any of these, you can. Name the 2 African teams that reached the round of 16 at the World Cup.
Well, I know one. Zoe, you want to get in there? Or? Morocco.
Morocco, certainly.
And that would be the other one. Oh, Egypt.
Indeed was. Yeah. Morocco and Egypt were indeed the 2. Name the 3 National League teams that have won multiple World Series this century.
Giants. So since 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Marlins won 97, so not the Marlins. Phillies won in 08. I think that was the only time the Phillies won. Oh, the Dodgers. Dodgers, Giants. Why did this one come up? Like, what was the timeliness?
I know it was timely. It was just a question.
No, Atlanta only won once. Yeah, I'm not Atlanta. Don't do that. Because I know it's not Atlanta.
You sure?
Yeah. Unless they won in like 2001 or something.
You sure?
Or like 2002. I don't know. Who won in 2002? The Giants, the Dodgers, and the Astros are an American League team.
I believe they spent part of this century in the National League.
Yes, that wouldn't count, though.
They reached a World Series as a National League team this century. Lost to the...
Was that 06?
They lost to the...
White Sox, then?
The White Sox.
Okay, it was 06.
Was that 06 or 05?
Or
yeah.
05. Yeah, okay.
05, I think.
Dang. Who the hell else? Cardinals won in 11. Did they win in the mid 2000s? I don't think they did. Not St. Louis, not Atlanta. But I may default to one of them since I can't think of another. Is it like is it like really obvious like that?
I mean, I thought it was. To be fair, it was the third of the three that I went in that same order as I was writing them down. But it was as soon as I thought, I'm like, oh yeah, obviously.
Who won 3 years ago? Who won in 23? What the hell? Why can't I? It's been Dodgers. It's been so much Dodgers.
It has been a lot of Dodgers.
Oh, the Rangers won. The Rangers won.
Awful lot of Dodgers.
I don't think the D-backs have won. D-backs haven't won it ever, have they?
Do you know if the D-backs have ever won a World Series?
When did they win? Was
Really?
that 01?
Yeah.
No, they beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you doing,
They
dude?
beat the Yankees. Jeez, this is a tough question. Just gonna have to, I guess, keep going year by year. So 22 was.
You would have run out of time by this point. You're gonna have to.
No, we wouldn't have.
Yes, you only get a song.
Yeah, this has probably been like maybe 2 minutes.
No, it hasn't.
So we start a timer.
No, we're way too late on starting the timer.
Just
you're gonna have to give us a guess. You're gonna have to.
Am I forgetting it?
Gonna have to give us a guess.
07.
Gonna have to give us a guess already.
Brewers?
It's not that they have not won a World Series.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking of teams he hasn't said.
Mm-hmm. Gonna have to give us a guess, Griffin.
The Mets.
Just guess.
Only won once.
All right, you got 2 out of 3. That's how you did.
It's St. Louis is my third.
St. Louis, of course,
It
is
is
the
the
answer
answer.
because they won in 11 and 06.
Well, I would have written St. Louis at the
Beat
buzzer.
the Tigers in 06.
They did?
Yes, they did. Then, of course, the team the Zombie Cardinals in 2011 when the Rangers had them dead to rights, but just could not kill them.
Freeze.
Could not kill them. They did win multiple World Series. And then finally, because that one took forever, so why not give one more?
Well, you said at the buzzer, I would have put in St. Louis as my
sure.
final Hail Mary.
In 1934, baseball player Lou Gehrig became the first athlete to appear on what box of cereal?
Wheaties.
2 points for the name of the first female athlete to appear on this cereal in 1935.
A female athlete in 1935?
The first female athlete to appear on the box of Wheaties.
I don't know who that could be. A team sport, individual sport? This was Amelia Earhart doesn't count as an athlete, does she?
Amelia Earhart does not count as an athlete, no. Does not count as an athlete. I got this one.
You got this one?
Yes, I got this one.
I don't know.
Maybe I just care about women a little bit more than
I
some
guess
people
so.
do. Maybe I just respect women
Is
a
she
little
like
bit more.
Like a track star or like what?
I'm not telling you anything.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to get it.
Really? Arguably the most significant female athlete of all time.
Jeez. Zoe, anyone?
I'm bad at history.
Oh, boy. Excelled at multiple sports.
She was on the box of
multiple
Wheaties?
sports. Was on the box of Wheaties in 1935.
I got nothing. Shirley Temple.
Jesus.
You count dancing as a
Babe Diedrichson Zaharias.
I don't know who that
You've never heard of Babe Diedrichson Zaharias. That's not great.
I mean, I'm
That's
just being honest
not
here.
great. A gold medalist twice in track and field and a 41-time winner on the LPGA Tour.
Oh, my God. Really?
Babe Diedrichson Zaharias, who won 10 major championships on top of being
her
a
name's
gold medalist.
Mildred Diedrichson.
She went by Babe.
That's why I didn't.
She went by Babe.
I didn't realize you meant Mildred.
Yeah, right. Now, you would have gotten it then if you had just known that. Babe Diedrichson Zaharias. Some of us just care about women a little bit more than some other people
All right,
do.
well, let's see how much you care about. You ready for tidbits?
Hang on 1 second. Because speaking of the Dodgers, the final last night was the only actual acting credit that Billy Joel has ever had in his life was voicing the character Dodger in what animated film?
Secret Life of Pets.
No. And I got to tell you, I had forgotten all about this. All about it.
Animated film.
Thankfully, a few people at our
so
table
it's,
had
so it's
not.
a talking animal, right?
Yes.
Named Dodger? Billy Joel?
I realized very quickly I could have gotten there. But this is not a very forgettable film. It's a very forgettable film. That was definitely before you were born.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was an animated
Very
movie?
forgettable. But it's a play on. So
Charlotte's Web or something.
Dodger was the artful Dodger from Oliver Twist, which was turned into Oliver and Company by Disney in 1988.
Jeez, movie guy got that one?
Forgot. Yes, our movie guy was all over that, but he wasn't the only one. Multiple people at the table were all over it. All over it. So once again, you wouldn't have helped us at trivia last night. Thanks a lot, buddy.
I got St. Louis.
But yeah, after
Did you get St. Louis?
I did. Of course, I got St. Louis.
Well, you were. I mean, I was like 6
I
years
held
old.
my end of the bargain last night. You know what we botched, and this is really embarrassing. The reason why we lost is one of the questions was, what does ACL stand for? And I trusted Proctor. Proctor wrote it down, and I didn't bother to look at him to like check. When we know the answer, I just take the thing and I walk it up, and I don't bother to look. My
I don't
fault.
think I would have gotten this.
He wrote anterior. It's anterior cruciate ligament. He wrote anterior crucial ligament.
That should count.
Did not. And that was the difference in us winning and losing last night, because
So
we
it's on
lost by
Proctor.
1 point.
He was
it's
really
really
riding high.
Giant fail.
Because
I
I
also
just sent him
talked
his
about
money for winning.
there was a question about this. I don't remember. Oh God, hang on a second. Wait a second. I want to make sure I have it right. It is Tallinn is the capital of what European country?
Holland.
Well, he said
Netherlands.
He said I think it's Estonia, but it could be Lithuania. And I said, I feel like I know the capital of Estonia, and I don't think it's Tallinn.
T-O-L-L, like...
Tallinn. And so he went with Lithuania, and it was, of course, Estonia. So it's also kind of on me, too. The two of us
Yeah, you conveniently left that part out.
Yeah, and our movie guy got a movie one wrong. So,
Jeez, what movie did you get wrong?
You had to name apparently the Twilight Zone film that came out had 4 different directors.
Oh, wow. Okay, never mind.
And you had to name all 4 directors, and he only went 3 for 4.
Jordan
What
Peele.
a loser. This was in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like Spielberg.
Did like a feature-length Twilight Zone?
Yeah.
Was it good? I guess not.
I don't know. I've never seen it, to be honest with you. It was John Landis, Steven Spielberg, Joe Dante, and George Miller, and somehow he forgot George Miller. What a pathetic loser. What a pathetic loser. How does he even show his face today? Right? That's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. You want to join our trivia team, Zoe?
They don't have cream of crab.
No? No?
Also, they don't have cream of crab.
That's a great point. It's a great point.
The restaurant I work at has cream of crab.
Well, they should start doing trivia on Monday nights.
No.
Okay.
It's lobster night.
You do two?
I was going to say, that sounds...
It's already busy enough.
Sounds like it would be a win-win. That's what it sounds like. Tidbit is brought to you today by countysports.zone. Everything you know about high school sports as we get ready for the fall and the start of football season, you can find at countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
Let's see how well you do know women, Glenn.
As you know,
Ella Langley
I know women.
is making history with choosing Texas. 14th week as the number
Griffin's
one.
really trying to put over
Billboard Hot
Ella
100.
Langley. He is. He's an Ella fella.
I mean, she makes good music. I can't knock it. She is that is tied for the second most weeks. Being Billboard's #1 song by a female artist.
Well, the number 1 has to be "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion.
No. It's not in the top. Not in the top
There's
because there's 3.
no way.
There's 3 who have had 14 weeks, and then #1 is 22 weeks. And it's Celine Dion is not in the top 5.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston is tied for second with
"I Will Always Love You."
Yes.
Yeah.
With "Choosing Texas" by Ella Langley.
I will say Mariah Carey.
Which song?
All I Want for Christmas.
All I Want for Christmas Is You is the
Yeah,
record.
but
20,
I don't think it ever
it's
had 14
not.
straight weeks because like Christmas season doesn't last for 14
but
straight
people
weeks.
play
I
it.
know.
They're looking
I
at
know.
just weeks as the #1 song. It's been 22, which is the overall
So
record.
how about
for, All I Want for Christmas Is You, which is the overall record, male or female. 22 weeks.
So like I feel like the most logical would be Fantasy, but I'm also torn with the One Sweet Day, the Boys to Men song like that she did with them. That was a
No, so that one didn't. That one wouldn't have.
that doesn't count because
that
Boys to Men was involved.
Up there though. Let me
Okay.
see how long that one was. That was 16 weeks, so that would have been on there, but that doesn't
Okay.
count because it was because of Boys to Men.
So then I'll go back. I'll default back to Fantasy.
Not Fantasy.
Not Fantasy. A Mariah Carey song.
14 weeks at #1.
It was 14 weeks, and it wasn't fantasy.
In 2005.
We Belong Together?
We Belong Together.
Wow.
14 weeks.
I would not have guessed that. I mean, it was a smash hit. That was a great song. I mean, everything Mariah Carey's ever done. Mariah Carey is top notch.
This song
Brilliant.
spent 13 weeks at number 1 in 1998 by a female duo.
Female duo?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with them.
A female duo in 1998. I'm guessing it wasn't the Indigo Girls.
Brandy and Monica?
Oh, the Boys. They're not a duo. They were two solo artists that
They did. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brandy and Monica were both so
They put an
combined.
ampersand in there, so it made me think that was like.
Yeah,
the
it
name
is
of
not a duo. It is two. They just happen to do a song
Okay,
together,
got it.
and it was a smash hit. Man.
That's the top 5.
It was everywhere.
Number 1 Billboard number 1s by.
Well, I think that proves that I still know a great deal about women and respect women. I think that I proved myself in that instance. I can't believe Celine Dion. That was the biggest song. That was the Titanic song. When like the Titanic soundtrack was the number 1 album for like 20 straight weeks, and the movie was number 1 at the box office for like 20 straight weeks. I can't believe My Heart Will Go On. That's unreal. What dethroned My Heart Will Go On as the number 1 single in the country? I want to get to the bottom of this. This is the important stuff that we do here. This and talking about the sex on the bear. Those are the most important things that we do on this show. You want to move on?
Well, I thought you were going to look it up, and I was going to give you a chance.
Okay. All right. Well, then, Tidbit was also brought to you today by the print issue of PressBox, which is available for free at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores everywhere around town where you find PressBox. Did you have anything in this print issue?
I don't believe so.
Go pick it up right now and read it all for free as well, PressBoxOnline.com. Go ahead. Okay.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
Apparently, it was only number 1 for a few weeks, which is wild to me, and it was dethroned. This is so embarrassing. This is an embarrassing moment. It was dethroned by Getting Jiggy With It by Will Smith. It's a very embarrassing moment. Here's what's coming up tonight, tubular-wise. Orioles do indeed continue their series. The Red Sox, Kyle Bradish on the mound for the first time since his extension. Ranger Suarez returns for the Red Sox, 7:10 on Masson. Everything else sports-wise, go to GlennClarkRadio.com. Non-sports.
Leaving off the big one? WWE Unreal Season 3.
I don't think I'm gonna spend any time with WWE Unreal Season 3.
Then you're not a real fan.
Don't think that's gonna be
They're
the
saying
case.
you're an Unreal fan.
Look at what you did there.
Yeah.
Look at what you did. Anything?
That's it. Yeah.
There's nothing.
You're watching WWE.
There's nothing at all.
We can watch the In the City reunion on Bravo.
All right.
Followed by
There
the
is
series premiere
nothing.
of Real Housewives of London.
Nothing.
We're going across the sea.
I gotta start Widow's Bay. I have to start Widow's Bay, but it does require me to get Apple back, and I don't want to do that. What can I give up? What's something that I probably don't need right now? What might I be subscribing to that I really? You know what? I don't need ESPN Plus for the summer.
What about SummerSlam?
You can't get it SummerSlam with ESPN Plus. I don't have unlimited. I just have Plus.
So you're giving up one.
I have that for college. But what the Whip Snakes?
And the Charm.
Thank you. Damn it! I probably can't give up ESPN Plus. What can I give up? The Boys is over. Do I need Prime Video? Is there anything on HBO right now that I'm watching? When John Oliver's not back for a little while, right?
Yeah, he's not this week.
Check to see if there's. But Amazon Prime Video comes with Prime, and I'm not giving up Prime. Damn it!
Back.
I don't want to. I gotta give up something. I can't just keep.
Yeah, he's not back until Memorial Day.
Do I really need Peacock? What's on Peacock that I need?
Love Island.
Yeah, Love Island. It had all the World Cup games on Telemundo, so I guess you don't need that.
All right, maybe I'll give up
Right
Peacock.
now.
That might be the answer.
Hold on, there might be something on Peacock later this week.
Oh?
I thought there was. No,
all
I
right,
guess
let's
not.
go. We got to wrap it up. Thanks today. Thanks, Zoe. It's great to meet you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Are you on social that you want people to follow you, or are you like, don't do that? People
no,
are
I
creeps.
don't really use it.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. I wish I could be in that. I wish I could say the same thing. Thank you for all your hard work. We really appreciate it. It was good to meet you and wish you nothing but success moving forward.
Thank you.
Thanks today to Marc Ross. Thanks also to Jon Meoli. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the...
Fallon, you're tuning in. Travis Scott and Drew Brees.
No, I would not go to that tour.
Why not?
I don't really like Travis Scott.
You don't like Drew
I
Brees?
really
He's
don't.
a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but what's he going to do on the tour?
Throw the football.
Yeah, I've seen Drew Brees throw a football when he was better at it. I think I'm good at
Travis
this
Scott,
point.
big role in the Odyssey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Not
I haven't
really.
seen
I mean,
the
it's-
Odyssey yet.
it's-
Is it bigger than Elliot Page's, who everybody freaked out about, and it turns out was in the or no?
They're about,
it was.
I mean, they're
it was
about,
Lapita.
they probably have similar.
It was
screen time.
Lapita, right? Who everybody was freaking out because
They were upset about Elliot Page. They were upset
yeah,
about Lupita
and they were in the
Nyong'o.
movie for like 3 minutes
Yeah,
or
I mean,
something.
all combined, Travis Scott, Lupita Nyong'o, and Elliot Page are probably on screen for like 10 minutes.
There you go. There you go. Definitely worth freaking out about. Very, very well done. We are a deeply unserious society. Tomorrow on the program, speaking of movies, I actually am really excited about this. Griffin mentioned this last Friday when we were doing Tubular, and I did not realize the depths of the connection. There's a new film that came out on Hulu called They Fight. And it stars Wendell Pierce and Andre Holland, and then Andre Royo has a very small role in it. Of course, Wendell Pierce and Andre Royo both were, on The Wire. Baltimore's own Sheldon Candace is the director of They Fight. The film was filmed in Baltimore. It's set in D.C., which kind of pisses me off, but apparently it was also it was
based off of a doc,
it was a documentary, so it was a real story. But it's a very Baltimore film, other than the fact that it's technically set in D.C. It's also very heartening. It's a very heartwarming motion picture, and I'm really looking forward to. Sheldon Candace is going to join us in studio tomorrow, the director of They Fight, to talk about how the film came about, being able to shoot a film in his hometown, which is so cool. And I didn't know he was even back here because he's in L.A. Like he's very Hollywood now, so it's very cool. Sheldon Candace is going to join us in studio tomorrow. We're going to talk more about They Fight and hopefully an Orioles victory, which would be nice. Is Broussard joining us tomorrow?
Yes,
as well?
Chris Broussard is joining us.
A lot going on the program tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel Maryland, the Baltimore Orioles, Costas Inn, your Baltimore area High's Dairy Stores, Leading Edge Auto Body, Warnken Law, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Cruise Maryland, CountySports.zone, the Maryland Department of Health, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin, at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks.